it's a difficult space, been a difficult 12 months for the country, but people shine through again. I think that comes to mind when I think about the last 12 months. People from all walks of life, and every day, I would say there hasn't been a day when we've walked away from our work that day and said, that was an impressive bunch, or weren't those people good, or wasn't that such a lovely event and great work those people are doing. Because, as I say, we see it every day, and
you learn a lot as well.
Yeah, and we see people in difficult circumstances and we see them in happy circumstances. But through all that you can see there's a real consistency, a real mettle in Australians.
One of the special things for me has been in the second year, we had the opportunity to re-meet people that we'd met in the first year. Recently, we're in an area that had had bushfires, and a man came up to me who I remembered and said, "The last time I saw you, I was crying on your shoulder." And we embraced, and it was just so special. It's so special to see how people how their journey's gone, and to see them in a much happier space. It's still not perfect, but they've come a long way.
And of course during the year we had the Teddy Sheehan, the award of the posthumous Victoria Cross for Teddy Sheehan. That was just a brilliant occasion, a really warm occasion, and great family supporting the memory of Teddy around that. And then big colourful ceremonies here with the 100th anniversary of the Royal Australian Air Force out on our front lawn on the lakeside, the fly past, the pageantry of that occasion. Again, just a great, one of those highlights of the year as you go through in the life of the country.
We had a fabulous plastic-free function where there were lots of school students who were passionate about reducing our use of plastics. So that was a pretty exciting day. And we also had a group of people who have dementia, and it was really lovely to have them at the house and hear their stories.
People living with dementia, it was just a great group and a lot of joy in the room on that occasion. Well, I'm an optimist by nature, and when I go out and engage with the Australian public, yes, we've got these natural disasters we're dealing with, and the residual efforts that go. There's a lot of work going into that space. We have some big national issues that we need to address, but a lot of hard work and thinking is going into those, and that makes me positive that the fact we're willing to grapple with them. It's no small thing. You could put them aside and just say, no, we won't. But we are grappling with them, and there's a lot of energy and effort and passion going into that, which is good.
We've had the opportunity to meet some really amazing Aboriginal people who are out there trying to make a difference in their communities. Like, I've met so many, and I think that's a real privilege for me. I don't really like the word privilege, but it's been really special to me to learn more and to know more Aboriginal people.
This is something deep and meaningful for Australia and its future. So I hope we get to the point where people can really think through what we want to achieve here and what direction we should go. I think, again, we engage with, as Linda said, with many Indigenous organisations around the country. And again, we're always very impressed with what we see and what we hear in what they're trying to achieve. Of course, we still have issues out in our remote communities and in Indigenous community in many areas. But I really do sense there's a great will to tackle those. Sometimes we don't know exactly the right answers, but there can be no doubt there's an enormous will out there to make the changes we need to make. Linda and I are engaged with quite a large number of veterans organisations and organisations helping our emergency service personnel and police. And this year, from around my Anzac Day message and to addresses to many of these organisations, I wanted to send a really clear message to our modern veterans in particular that when you look at the Anzac legacy and how it's played out in our society and how they understand it's influenced their time in uniform, they should be extraordinarily proud of what they've done for their country.
It sounds a bit corny, but it is a family, and you don't experience exactly the same things, but you have a lot in common.
We know we have an element, a section that we really need to look after and care for. But it's an important message, I think, to people in uniform. Value your service. You've made an enormous contribution to your country and you should be proud of that. And that to me is an important message for veterans. The Order of Australia for me is the preeminent method we have to recognise achievements of Australians, their contributions to Australia, be that community or national level or international level. So we were able to have investitures last year. It's such an uplifting experience because every person who walks in the door has done something exceptional, either in their particular field or for their community. And as we say here, there's a richness of spirit in Australia, and we saw that writ large over that 2-week period. We know historically that women have been underrepresented in both nominations and in acknowledgement. We want to improve the multicultural representation in the Order and also Indigenous representation. I'm trying very hard to change that around because I think it's important that the awards outcomes reflect who we are as a society and what our mix is. You know, what we see coming through the door and the people coming through the door with the investitures is a microcosm of what's out there in our community. It's really strong. It is resolute. And as we say here, and you hear us saying all the time, there's a real richness of spirit out there in the Australian community, and we should celebrate that.
We meet amazing people, and the most special part of this role for me is the stories that they share with you. People are honest and open and share their life with you, and that's what makes this job special for me. Well, one of the most wonderful parts of this job is being able to make people sing. And that always lifts their spirits.
It does too. Yeah.